I wanted to stay away from this topic, but life seems as though it just wants me to go there, just wants me to go there. So I'm here. Yup. To pick up or not to pick up? That is the question. Currently in Barbados, people in the public are having this debate or whatever about whether or not a schoolgirl should have picked up a rapper when the teacher told her to do it. There are people on one side saying, no, don't pick it up. Other people saying, pick it up. Other people, as usual, they're neutral parties. Who cares? I was tempted to stay away from it because, I tend to stay away from things that are just topical, at the time. They're in the news. Boom, 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 boom. I guess since I went to this one, I guess I may go to the Chris Gayle one at some point in time. To pick up or not to pick up? And what really put me now to give my opinion, which could change in the future. First of all, let's acknowledge that we don't have the full picture, so we can only go on bits and pieces that we see in different parts of the media, whether it be print, radio, or online. What really drew me to speak about this now is an article I saw in a Barbadian newspaper. It seems to suggest that they believe the girl was right for not picking it up, or at least well within her rights to not pick up the rapper when the teacher told her to pick it up, even though maybe it would have been better to capitulate at the time to forego this situation. First of all, if you believe someone's right for something, encouraging that person to capitulate sets a bad precedent, because what it says to the child or the person in general is, you're right, but conform. If the person's right for something and it just so happens that that thing for which he or she is right is is something that goes contrary to the norm, well then the person still has to go ahead and do it because that's contrary to the norm. When slavery was the norm, or enslavement of people was the norm, going against that, you're right, but should you capitulate? No. Though some capitulated, others did not. What did we have? Revolution, we had change, we had all sorts of different types of movements towards a different norm. Now, there are those who say, okay, well, this situation, whether you're right or wrong, has gone far enough. Like in the article it said, well, this has gone too far. The school is in the wrong, the girl's mother's in the wrong, everybody's in the wrong. No, people like to bring those sort of things like, oh, we're in the wrong, everybody's in the wrong, oh, the wrong. Wrong goes all around about the place. Somebody's kind of right there, but let's move on. What do I think? I think, hate me if you want, love me if you want, message me if you want, like, share, subscribe if you want. Freedom, right? Democracy. You get to say what you want to say. Interesting question. Is democracy the only form of government where you can actually say, or a form of social organization where you can say what you feel? Look it up. Let me know what you think. My opinion so far, with the limited information that we have, is that if a teacher tells you to pick up something, whether you put it there or not, pick it up. It's a rapper. I've heard people on the radio saying, there's so many germs nowadays, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there are germs nowadays. I guess something somehow could be on the paper. Some sort of vile disease could be on the paper. Pick it up and don't wash your hands. I've heard people say the teacher should have provided gloves. Without gloves, the child was within her right to not pick up the wrapper. Gloves or no gloves, pick up the wrapper. Really? Are we going to be... people are saying it's 2016, the old ways don't work anymore, blah, 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 but what are you talking about? Teacher gives you an order, do it. Unless that order is something detrimental to your life, or you know it's just absolutely outrageous, plain wrong, pick it up. You don't agree with it? That's not a good enough reason. So your house is on fire. You want to go back inside. The firemen say don't go back inside. What do? Well, actually, in my opinion, you could do whatever you feel like doing. But for the purposes of this argument, it would be not go inside. But the thing is, you don't agree, right? You don't agree. You should go inside. That doesn't mean that you get to maybe put other firemen's lives in danger by going back inside and then have to go for you. But if you want to do that, fine. This is a different situation though, so let's just move back on. Because that's something you could argue forever. I would be on the side of do whatever they figure you want. When you're a child, you're in a school setting, the parents are in loco parentis. It means that you do what your parents tell you. You do what the teachers tell you. They're responsible for your lives. If it is that you get some disease from the thing, then the teacher's responsible as well. The teacher gave you the order. It goes both ways. You want teachers to be responsible for your children and their success. Teachers are also responsible for your children's discipline. Teachers are responsible for your children. So when your child does something contrary to the code of the school, the child will be punished. Whether people think the punishment is excessive or not, that's their business, that's their opinion. The school has the right and the authority to punish as it sees fit. Reasonable punishment, of course, and we can always debate what is reasonable. And in many aspects, we should have that debate, whether or not something is reasonable. We should always have these debates, and I encourage you all to continue to speak about it. Speak about the topic, speak about all of these topics. If you believe that something is wrong, you should speak about it. I will not tell you to keep your mouth shut, whether you agree with me or not. I would actually encourage everyone, whether you agree or disagree, or you just don't care, still give it 2 cents, to say what you really mean. Say what you feel. You never know. If you disagree with me, you could change my opinion by expressing your opinion to me. You know, arrogance is for fools, right? Another thing is, the girl would have said something. So you really didn't talk about what the girl said. It's purported that the girl said, "My mother didn't send me to school to pick up rubbish," which intimates that there's somebody else to pick up the rubbish. It doesn't matter if it's a rapper or whatever. Maybe if it's a dead rat, I'd be like, no, you know, because something seems a bit wrong with that. But discipline, values are instilled in children, secondary socialization in schools. This happens in secondary school. Whether it's a primary school or secondary school, you pick it up. I remember vaguely teachers telling me to pick up stuff. I remember people telling me to pick up stuff, papers and stuff in class when the classroom was dirty outside, something outside, pick up a bottle. I used to do it on my own. That's me, on my own volition. But if a teacher tells you to do something, you do it. I remember not always agreeing with things that teachers told me. Maybe not told me to do all the time, but told me in general. They said to me things that you might even find offensive. I remember that. There are times when you actually do go against what you were told when people in authority tell you to do something that you know is when you know, yeah, that's absolutely wrong. So maybe the girl thought that's absolutely wrong. Then people who know me might say, well, William, you were in cadets. You were taught to follow orders. People who know me from cadets know that there are many orders that would have been given at some point in time, or a few. I won't say many, but from time to time I was given orders that were just not on. To which I protested, and for the ones that protested, and they were just, it was like, yeah, follow the order, followed it. But if I knew it was just against what you should be doing, then I would have made my way not to do it. And guess what? If a punishment came, accepted. Because at the end of the day, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, right? What I was told to do. I did what I was supposed to do in terms of doing the right thing. The girl was punished. Those who said the girl shouldn't be punished, I believe you're wrong. Should be punished. If she believes so much that in what she said, and what she didn't do, in terms of refusing to follow the order of the teacher, punishment is for you. You have your right to protest, and authority will come down on you. Simple. It is very simple. But I do like the debate, the public debate that this thing has had, has brought up in us and all this. But I want us to realize something. When you're talking about, you know, in this day and age and blah, 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 I've heard, and the thing is, it's coming a lot from I've heard enough of this about how she shouldn't have picked up the rappers from older folk, especially on the radio station. You know it's radio stations I'm talking about. Really? Maybe you're transferring some problem you had with a teacher in your past who may or may not have abused his or her power onto this situation. This situation here, I firmly believe, and tell me if I'm wrong, in this situation, the girl should have followed the instructions. Pick up the paper. Now, people are saying the punishment is excessive. She got suspended. Okay. Excessive, but she was punished. It's being reported in the media that she was transferred. So when her mother took her to the school, or she went to the school, and then she was informed, you're not here, or whatever. You're not supposed to be here. She was transferred. The mother doesn't like the transfer, it's alleged. If you don't like the transfer, it's no longer your fight with the school, it's your fight with the ministry. It's your right to get the best education possible you think for your child. If you think at some school, because you had maybe some, it's reported again that she had a bad experience with her other child at that school, well then it's your responsibility to advocate for your child. It's also your responsibility to get your child education, whether it be homeschooling, which is an option, or at some school. If you don't like the school allocated for your child publicly, someone will say go somewhere else. It's not that simple. Not everybody has the means to be able to do that. Everybody else has the means to be able to afford to even do homeschooling or private school, right? The ministry has a responsibility as well to get this under wraps. Ironically, that means that this needs to get out of the public eye, though we can still have a public debate about this. We shouldn't have every week, week no conversations about this. Let's get her into school. Let's get on with business. And on that note, when the newspapers are taking pictures of children, please, when you're blurring the face, if you take a picture, I'm sure you don't just take one picture. If you take a picture and that's the picture you want to use and her face is in it, blur the picture. Don't just pixelate to the point that you can still make out the face, or just cut the girl out, or don't put the mother in at all. Like, use your head. You put the mother in, we can tell who the girl is, because people, it's a small place, a small island, we already know the mother's name. I mean, is it really necessary? We don't need to do this. When you're reporting, try to report accurately, which means is the principal really going to carry a girl to the gate and say, take off your clothes? A female principal, really? Take off your clothes? Take off the uniform right there? Do a little bit more in-depth reporting. Yeah, you want to get clickbait, you want to get people to come and see your articles and what's not, but you have a level of responsibility as well to do the best reporting you can, and after reporting, do some journalism, two different things, so we don't feel as though, or for those who are in the just reading it, who could be easily misled, wouldn't be easily misled. Anyways, these are some things to think about. I may give my opinion on this another time. Until then, I guess I will see you later. Remember to like, share, subscribe. We're on YouTube and Facebook. We're also on Tumblr and things like that if you're interested. Yep, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.